Hi guys, it's Janice. Welcome back to Ramblin' Riot. Today's video is going to be my November TBR. I've never really done a TBR. I don't generally plan in advance what I'm going to read in a month, but if you've watched my personal videos on my other channel, then you know that I haven't really been reading a lot the last 2 weeks. I've read some comic books, but I haven't really read any actual books because I've been lazy. So I want to kind of put that behind me, get back on the reading bandwagon. So I decided making a TBR was probably the best option for me. So the first thing on my TBR is The 50-Year Sword by Marcy Danielewski. This book actually would have been the perfect book for October TBR because it takes place on Halloween. It takes place on Halloween. It's in Texas, and it's about this woman who's watching like 5 kids on Halloween, and she's telling them the story of the 50-year sword. If you haven't read anything by Marcy Danielewski, something that's really specific to him is his style of writing. You can see here that on this page it's just like a sentence. On like this page there's like a picture. If you read House of Leaves, which is one of my very favorite books, you're probably familiar with that. One thing that's specific to this book is, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at the writing, all the different quotation marks are different colors. Some of them are red, yellow, orange, and whatnot. And instead of saying, you know, Tom said or whatever, the different colored quotation marks signify each character speaking. Marcy Danielewski is really important to me because a lot of couples have like their R song, and Carl and I don't have that. We have an R book, which is House of Leaves by Marcy Danielewski. When we were first getting to know each other before we started dating, we were just sharing some of the things that we enjoy, some of the books that we love, and one book that we both loved was House of Leaves, and it wasn't a book that we'd actually known anybody else that had read, other than maybe the person that suggested it to us. So it was something that we really bonded over. So our first Christmas together, I wanted to get him something really special, and this book had just been reprinted. It's from, I can't remember when it was originally published, but the year that I got it for him, it had just been reprinted, so I thought it was a perfect gift. So I haven't read it for some reason, but I know that I've always wanted to, so I decided that this was going to be the month that I read it. The next book on my pile is The Fates Will Find Their Way by Hannah Pittard. I've never heard of this author or heard of this book, but it was at the dollar store yesterday when I went to go pick up some like cotton swabs to remove my nail polish, which I actually forgot. And so I saw it there. It's short or whatever. It has a cute cover, so I figured I would pick it up. When I got home, I did search it on Goodreads, and it doesn't have a lot of reviews or anything like that, but I do know that one person that I'm friends with online has read it. I saw it on her Goodreads page, and she gave it 3 stars. So I figured, you know, why not? I'll pick it up and check it out. It was only $1, so even if it is terrible, I'm not out much. So the next book on my pile is Wildwood by Colin Malloy. This is a book about a brother and sister. It takes place in Oregon. The brother goes missing and the sister has to go into these woods to find him. One thing that's really exciting about this book is it's written by Colin Malloy, and he's the lead singer of the Decemberists, which is a band that I love. One of my friends online recommended this book to me. We were talking about books, like middle grade books for children, technically, maybe not little kids, but you know, middle schoolers and stuff like that. And I recommended The Dust of 100 Dogs by A.S. King, and she recommended Wildwood by Colin Malloy. So I picked it up on eBay for $4. I also got the second one, which I'm really excited because they're beautiful covers and whatnot. I know that's a dumb reason to pick up a book, but I'm just very excited. So the last book on my pile is the last book is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. If you've watched like one of our very early videos with Nana and myself, we discussed doing a book reading of that. So we're going to be reading it at the same time or around the same time, and then we're going to do a YouTube discussion. If that's something that you're interested in participating with, send us a message. We'd love to have some people, if not on the video, but maybe just like interacting with us a little bit as we do the video or whatnot. Definitely leave us comments and stuff. If you haven't heard of this book, I'd never heard of it before Niana picked it up at Half Price Books, but when she told me about it, it sounded pretty interesting. It says, Prentice Town isn't like other towns. Everyone can hear everyone else's thoughts in an overwhelming, never-ending stream of noise. Just a month away from his birthday that will make him a man, Todd and his dog Manchi, whose thoughts Todd can hear too, whether he wants to or not, stumble upon an area of complete silence. And then while they're in the complete silence, I guess they find out like secrets and whatnot. It doesn't take place on Earth, from what Neon told me. It takes place on some like other planet. And then the last thing on my TBR is a comic book, and I read a lot of comic books. I can't really do a November TBR of comic books though, because comic books, while they're given a release date, it's not always the most definite date. You're never certain what's coming out on Wednesday until the Tuesday before. So you can't really say, these are the comic books I plan on reading this week. I plan on reading anything that comes out that's on my pull list, but I couldn't really say in advance. I think that tomorrow, I have 2 comic books coming out, which isn't a lot. Birthright #2 and Woods #7. So those are my this week's TBR for comic books. But the comic book that I plan on reading this month is Invincible Ultimate Collection Volume 1. I've actually read the first like 10 issues of this comic book, but I stopped and Carl had these big volumes, so I decided that I wanted to read it again. It is about this guy right here. His name is Invincible. This is his dad, Omni-Man. And I don't want to give too much away, but in the beginning, in this volume and like the very first story arc, is kind of like his hero origin story, but it's a lot different from origin stories of other comic book heroes. Like, you know, Batman's parents die and whatnot, and that's like a common theme. Origin stories a lot of times are this big life-altering event, and you know, they either choose to be a superhero due to it or a villain and whatnot. So something happens here with Invincible, some big life-altering event that kind of, I guess he'd already decided he was going to be a hero though, because his dad is a superhero, but there's this life-altering event origin story that's unlike any other superhero origin story. I don't want to give it away because I think it's really shocking, or at least it was really shocking when I read it, but I'm going to be rereading it, so maybe I'll clearly be less shocked because I already know what it is. But I'm very excited to read this. It is by Robert Kirkman, who writes The Walking Dead, so if you're a big Walking Dead fan, maybe you want to check this out. It's obviously not anything like The Walking Dead because it's not zombies and stuff like that, but it just looks, I mean, I would say it looks awesome, but I know it's awesome because I read like the first 10 issues, like I said, so I'm very interested in completing it. Sorry, just gotta get that out of the way. It's a really squeaky book. So that's my TBR. Let me know what you're planning on reading this month in the comments, and if you've read any of this stuff, let me know what you think, especially that The Fates Will Find Their Way, because like I said, there wasn't a lot of information on Goodreads, so I don't know if it's a really good book or if it's a really bad book. I guess it's probably not that great because not a lot of people have read it, but maybe not a lot of people have heard about it, so you know, whatever. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thumbs up, like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. Nayana just posted a TBR book haul the other day, and that'll probably be below me on this little end card thing. So I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope you have a great week, and bye.